Yes. Okay. So, so far we have seen the functionality of cache memory, and there is a lot of still remaining because if you'll start the basic concept, then it will take a lot of time. So that is why I'm directly jumping on the main part, which is virtual memory, and behind it, so many concepts which I will assume that you will study. So uh, few topic I will mention you to read about that. And please note down, let me share my screen first. It's very important if you know about that part. Okay, so first topic is paging. Second is segmentation. This topic, I think you should know about it. What is paging and what is segmentation? So please write down these two terms, and uh, after the class, you can look for it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay, now it's time for virtual memory concept, and let's start this part. Okay, so here.
Is that virtual memory?
Is it visible what I'm writing right now?
Yes, it's visible.
Okay, so let me just draw this diagram, then you can easily understand.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Good afternoon, Mr. Kumar.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Okay. So here, this is main memory. Okay. This is main memory. Let me put that main memory. Yes. And these are pages. These are pages. So once again, let me tell about that. Uh, what is virtual memory? Let me start with that. So virtual memory, it's a concept through which we can perform a very unrealistic approach, which seems very impossible, but somehow through its implementation, we organized our file system in such way where a small memory component can perform a large file process. So the definition is it provides the illusion to the programmer that a process where the size larger larger than main memory can execute. This is definition, and
Uh-huh.
Can you
I
tell one
can
more time?
I,
Provide.
I can write it. I can write it that it provides the illusion to a programmer. Once again, to a programmer that a process where size is where the size is larger than main memory can execute. It provides the illusion to the programmer that a process where size is larger than the main memory can execute. This is a concept of virtual memory. Concept of virtual memory. Okay, this point. What is the size of main memory? In general, what is the size of main memory?
So its capacity.
What is the size of main memory? I'm just in general in our nowadays in current time, what size of main memory we see?
4 GB and 8 GB.
Exactly,
Yes.
4 GB, 8 GB. Yes, correct. 2 GB, 4 GB, 8 GB. That are the usual size we see. Now, as we know, the main memory size is 2, 4, 6, 8, and so on. And what is the normal size of any file, any general file, multimedia file, any usual file? It can be any length. It can be 10 KB, it can be 50 KB, it can be 1 MB, 100 MB, 2 GB, 8 GB, 16 GB also. You know, we process, sometimes we run the game, that game size is itself 8 GB and 9 GB game. Sometimes we open a extra, sometimes we open full HD videos that is around 1.5, 2.5 GB. So the problem is how a main memory can load this kind of file where the file size is larger than the main memory, the RAM. What is the concept? How it can load that? So this is
Can
the
you repeat,
concept.
please?
Okay, my question is, We know our file size, it can be any length. It can be any length, like it can be from 50 KB to 2.5 GB, 3.5 GB, 4 GB, 8 GB. It can be any
Uh-huh.
random size. And
Yes.
our main memory is completely limited. It is around 2 GB, 4 GB, 8 GB, 16 GB. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
when you have 4 GB RAM, when you have 8 GB RAM, and you're opening large files, like you are opening 2 GB files, 4 GB files, and even you are doing multitasking, 4 or 5 applications are open, and all application size are in GBs. So it's more than your RAM.
Mm-hmm.
So what is the concept through which we overcome of this problem? So the concept is virtual memory. So
Yeah.
virtual memory, once again, let me uh, recall the definition, that it provides the illusion to programmer that a process where a size is larger than main memory can execute. So
Mhm.
the operating system, like your Windows, Linux, Mac, this is a concept of operating system. Operating system implements virtual memory. This is the thing we need to understand, that it is the operating system who implements virtual memory kind of concept. Sometimes we call virtual memory as virtual RAM also. So it always stored in your uh, in the file where you have installed your main memory. So it's it can be like in your hard drive, where you have installed your operating system OS in the same folder, in the same file. It also, it gets implemented in that. That's why here I have put that OS here, this main memory. Whenever you boot your system, operating system always boots on your RAM. RAM makes ready everything. So operating system directly loads on your main memory. Since operating system has loaded in your main memory, now here it will manage all the part. How it can manage the? So there is a concept of paging. That is why I have listed this thing, that you need to understand paging concept. So I will give a quick review how it works. So paging is kind of data management. It's like a page, like your bytes, like 0 byte, 1 byte, 2 byte, 3 byte. These bytes are there, and this is page number. We divide everything, we divide every uh, the whole memory concept into paging. So paging is like page 0, page 1. So bytes stored in this way, 0, 1, 2, 3, and these are bytes.
Mm-hmm.
These are bytes. So we store bytes in the form of page. We distribute the data into form of pages. Okay. So each data, whatever data stored in your hard drive, we use paging concept to arrange it. Now the thing is, here you can see P0, P1, P2, P0, P1, P2, P3. These are pages. These are pages. In each pages, process are there. P0 is
Mm-hmm.
process. So here segmentation is there, or you can say a dividation is there inside your memory. We have created page, and inside the page, the process is there. Process 0, 1, 2, everything is there. Okay, this is your hard disk, SSD, whatever memory you are using. So pages have been created. Now it's your main memory. So main memory always use one process. We call it, with between your pages inside your memory, the process is, we call it swap in. Swap in. Uh, swap in, swap out. Here also swap in and swap out. That is swap out. You can call it roll in and roll out. Same name. Roll in, roll out, or swap in or swap out. Swap, same process. For taking and for pushing, both things. If you are inquiring, then swap in, and if you're taking out, then swap out. These processes happen in that. One more thing I forgot. Swap in, swap out process. This happens between main memory and your pages. Okay, now next concept is, I have just explained that it provides illusion and larger file can also execute through main memory. So how it works? Let's say main memory is there, and in main memory, what we create? We create blocks. Okay. We create blocks. So
Yes.
in blocks, what kind of data we store generally? So all your hard drives, whatever paging have been created, we save in this way: page 0 of P1. So this is P1 process, page 0 of P1, page table of P2. So let's say these are P1 pages. Inside there is a process is there. So page 0 is there, page 1, page 2. So inside whatever details are there, we store it. We store some of the information, few most frequent process of pages here. So let's say if we store P0 of P1 here, then page table of P2, P2 of P1, page table of P1. Let's say this is P1, P1, P2, and P3. Okay, so actually what we're doing is we are storing one particular process of one page here. Then some of the data of P2 here, some of the data of P3 here, maybe in somewhere we have stored it. So it's like whenever we need the data, it will, since we have the location of that page stored in main memory, so anytime when you request it, it will fetch the particular data quickly. It will load that data quickly. So all the pages information, some of the byte of the information already stored in your main memory. So it's kind of index we create in this main memory, like our book index, like our notebook index. What is the work of index in your book and notebook? Why you create the index?
To sort out everything, like put
Yes,
in some place.
because in books there can be 1,000 pages, 1,000,
Yeah.
2,000, 100 pages, and to select which chapter on which particular page is, so you need to check index and then you quickly jump on the particular chapter. Okay. So this is a kind of indexing which you create in main memory, where you don't have all the data, you don't push all the data on main memory because it's not possible. Your hard drive data cannot be loaded on your main memory completely, but we can create an index that anytime if you want a data from particular page, then quickly you can take it, as you know the path, as that data is already, that information is already loaded on your main memory, and it is because of virtual memory. This is the concept of virtual memory, to segment and to load the frequent information of the pages in the main memory.
Got it. Yes.
Now coming to this frame, and this can be cache or anything. So let's say F1.
In main memory, give to
F2,
the cache
F3.
memory.
These are, yeah, it can be cache memory. It is cache memory. It is cache memory.
And cache memory get data from main memory. Yes.
Yes, cache memory seeks the data in a main memory. In this way, your whole concept run. CPU seek the data, it asks that particular data from the cache memory, and all the you can see cache memory size is 3 MB. So 3 MB is very powerful. It manages the file in the form of lines. In lines, uh, blocks and frames are stored. Whenever you ask for that, it loads from the main memory. In memory, it looks for that. When it looks at this data available in this particular file, quickly it loads that. This is the concept of virtual memory, to how to process a larger file, how to load big files in main memory. So it's the implementation of operating system. In Windows, virtual memory called as page file. In Linux, we called it swap partition, and in Mac, we call it virtual memory. So, okay, here I can write it. Windows, you can call it, we call it page file. Linux, we call it swap partition. Then in Mac, we call it virtual memory. This is name of virtual memory, what we call, what like concept implementation. In Windows, we call it with page file. Page file is saved virtual memory. If someone's saying that page file, literally it means it's virtual memory concept. So in Windows, what we do is generally we assign the page file length is 2 times than RAM. It is 2 times than RAM. In Windows only. I don't know about the Linux and Mac. Since this information is not available, might be I will have to Google or search. But for particular Windows, I know it that in Windows it reserves virtual memory 2 times than RAM. Let's say if you have 8 GB RAM, then 16 GB will be occupied. If you have 4 GB RAM, then 8 GB will be occupied in a virtual memory. That's why we call it virtual RAM also. Okay, so next part is if page number, how we decide that how many pages will be required. How many pages will be required? How we can know that? So simply, if process size is if process size is 4 bytes, let's say 4 bytes, then what is the page size? So page, how many pages will be required? So we consider, let's say page size is 2 bytes. Let's say for this particular operating system, 2 byte is a page size.
So it's if it is 2
So
bytes.
how many? Uh, yeah, it's 2 bytes.
But in one page there should be 4 bytes, yes?
2 bytes. Process size, like one process, the size of the process is 4 bytes. Page size is 2 bytes. So number of pages will be required. Number of pages will be required.
10 for the first one,
Number of pages will be required is
or 20.
4 by 2. 4 by 2, we will divide it. So 2 pages will be required. 2 bytes divided by 4. 2 pages will be required.
2 bytes.
Here you can
Okay.
see 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 bytes. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 bytes is there, and 2 byte is a 2 byte size. Like you only 2 byte you can reserve here. It's up to your operating system. Let's say 8 GB, 8 bytes are length. Then here 8 byte will be stored. So 0, 1, 2, 3. 0, 1, 2, 3. This is the arrangement of pages. How we can find out the number of pages. Okay, one more thing. This frame you can see F1, F2, F3. Sometimes, usually, I would say, usually we create frames in RAM. Okay, for handling these pages, we create frames in this particular main memory RAM in a form of frame. We create frame to handle the pages information simply. All these are frames. Okay, we create block also, so you can call it frame. Let's say this time you call it frame. So block is also fine. Block is for your direct addressing. But if this is concept of virtual memory, so in main memory, it will form like a frame. So now I would say if it is a frame, 1 frame, 2 frame, 3 frame, 5 frame, frames are there. So how many frames will be created?
Is it also like in data?
Yeah, sorry.
Is it like use it to collect data? Yes, just collect data.
Frames is a kind of partition management. Like we are creating a rack, a partition where we will store the page information. Okay.
Like a
All these
index,
are
yeah?
all. Yes, yes, index. Very good. Index. Frame is a type of fragmentation where index we create, where we create index. So what is the process to determine? Okay. So here, so 2 pages are created. So if you want to check how many frame will be created, then let's say main memory size. Main main memory size is 16 byte. Let's say 16 byte is the main memory size. It usually it doesn't, but let's say 16 byte. And for frame size, we can divide the frame. Let's say 2 bytes. It should be same. See here.
So there will be
Page size. Page size should be same frame size. If both are same, then you can hold it. So the number of frames will be required. So the number of frames will be required is 60 divided by exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Then here it will be uh, 8 frames.
Mm-hmm.
In main memory, 8 frames will be created if you have 2 byte page size and this level of memory size.
Mm-hmm.
That is why I'm saying read about the paging. Once you get the time, read about the paging segmentation. You can easily understand how paging works. When you understand the paging, then virtual memory concept will also be very easy for you because you have already understood the concept, how it is working. So once again, some information of pages are loaded in your main memory so that anytime when you want to have the data, it will quickly load from the pages. And when that's why a large file can easily load it in your main memory. So generally what happen is when you open multiple files in your PC, so when you minimize it, so however you were working fully in that file, when you minimize it, after some time, it removes that data and save few information of that file in your main memory. So what happen is when you reopen that file, quickly it loads the full file. All the pages one by one, it loads that. It provides CPU. Quickly load, transfer to the CPU one by one, and it happens in very fast speed. Sometimes you open the file, when the file is not loaded in cache memory, is not in the frames, then it goes in the fault time, page fault time. Like page fault means it's not available in cache memory. Then if CPU asks for data in cache memory, that's not loaded, so it will go in page fault. So it will take some time. It will take some time.
Mm-hmm.
So in that case, there is a formula also. Let's say what is the effective formula is effective memory access time. Effective memory access time, we call it E. Okay. Effective memory access time. So let's say one page is it page is in page fault. Page fault means that page, that information is not, that process is not stored available in cache memory, that information is not in main memory also. So this is page fault. Page fault means it's not available. Now you will have to pick from the real location. That is why it will take some time. So the formula is is me memory, let's say memory access time. Memory access time. Memory access time is equal to, that's the formula, is equal to, we'll write it here, P, process page fault service time. Yes, page fault service time. P into, P means page into whatever time it is taking for fault service time plus, sorry, plus 1 minus P, 1 minus P into main memory access time. Main memory access time. P into page fault service time plus 1 minus P into main memory access time. This is the overall memory access time taken by a process, taken by a CPU. P into page fault service time plus 1 minus P main memory access time. So generally, this main memory access time, it takes nanosecond. It takes nanosecond. Okay, and this page fault service time, it takes microsecond.
So why it is 1 minus P?
1 minus P, it's a formula. 1 minus P, it's a time. 1 minus P, the process time, process size. So memory access time taken by page fault condition is P into page fault service time plus 1 minus P into main memory access time. These generally it's given in nanoseconds, it gives in microseconds. You cannot assume it, you cannot calculate it. It happens at very fast speed. But it takes a delay. From a CPU perspective, it takes a delay. But generally we don't see this, we don't analyze it. Generally we don't feel it because of the speed. Sometimes we are also, we are familiar with the computing process. Let's say if you're opening a big file, sometimes it takes time, it takes few seconds. So for us, it's fine, it's very normal. We are like, okay, it will take time, it's very big file. Sometimes we are like, fine, no issue. Sometimes we open a new, when you load a big application like a video editing software or any big software game, it takes time. So this is common. This is common. We like, okay, fine, it will take few seconds, but it is taking time. It is loading everything from the memory. It is taking, it is fetching the details, bringing it, then executing it, then again selecting a new data, fetching it, selecting the data, executing it, and it is happening in very quick speed. So large, that level of file, that large file, it loads quickly. Okay, now coming to the theoretical part. Start with virtual memory. Consider a typical large application. There are many components there that are mutually exclusive. Example, a unique function selected dependent on user choice. Okay, means you have a file and you have desired file. It can be on any size. Error routines and exceptions handlers are very rarely used. Most programs exhibit a slowly changing locality of reference. There are two types of locality, spatial and temporal. You already know about it. Yesterday I've explained it, what is spatial and temporal. Spatial is most frequent data loaded, and temporal is we select according to our, we use randomized approach, we use selective approach. That's the approach for for setting the preference that which particular will be selected. This is the locality difference. So characteristic of paging. Memory references are dynamically translated into physical address at a runtime. A process may be swapped in and out of main memory such that it occupies different regions. So once again, look the theory. Theory is saying memory references are dynamically translated into physical address at a runtime. A process may be swapped in and out of main memory such that it occupies different regions. Main memory, dynamic, quickly it will swap the details from the pages. Dynamic translated into physical address at a runtime. Process may be swapped in and out. Process may be broken up into pieces, pages, or segments that do not need to be located contiguously in a main memory. Once again, look this way. A process may be broken up into pieces. You can call it pages or segments that do not need to be located contiguously in a main memory. So here I have broken up the program, the process into pieces, and it which needs to be loaded. One information can be loaded in the main memory. Otherwise, all are distributed. That do not need to be located in a main memory, we don't load it. One particular information, one segment information, we load it so that anytime we can hold it. Hence, all pieces of process do not need to be loaded in main memory during execution. Computation may proceed for some time if the next instruction to be fetched or the next data to be accessed in a piece located in a main memory. So main memory, you have stored that table, that frame. Whenever you want next data, that's already stored, that location is already stored. Quickly you will go and fetch it. The OS brings into main memory only a few pieces of the program. Few pieces of the program, including its starting point. Each page, segment, table entry has a present bit that is set only if the corresponding piece is in the main memory. All the things are saying the same concept that OS brings swap in, swap out process, few information about the process, P1 process, P0, P1, P2. And here you can see it's loaded table, page table, page table, page table, and we pick the data, one particular, not all the data, but one selective data. And locality of reference is maintained. Locality of reference is the order of preference. Each page segment table entry has a present bit that is set only if the corresponding piece is in the main memory. The resident set is the portion of the process that is the main memory. Resident set, one particular bit of a page loads in the main memory. The interrupt, memory fault, is generated when the memory reference is on piece out present in the main memory. So when cache memory, it will not provide it, and reference is not available in main memory also, that's a memory fault.
But we said page fault, yes? Is
Page,
that same?
Same thing. Page fault, memory fault, interrupt, same thing. The name is different, but the condition is same. Interrupt condition, memory fault, that's same.
Okay.
OS places the process in the blocking state. OS issues a disk input output read request to bring into main memory. Same thing I have explained, that if it's not available in cache memory and main memory, then it's loaded in your secondary memory in hard disk. So input output request will be generated to fetch out that data which is requested. So that is why here OS, because obviously operating system is dealing that input output read operating request to bring into main memory the piece referenced. Another process is dispatched to run while disk operating take place. An interrupt is issued when the disk operating system completes, cause operating system to place affected process in the ready state. So interrupt is issued if that is not available in main memory and operating system is going to search it. That goes in the page fault condition and a separate execution runs. Advantages of partial loading. More process can be maintained in main memory. Yes, partial loading means not the whole data of the pages of process we are loading. We are loading a piece of information in main memory. So what's the advantages of partial loading? Only load in some of the pieces of each process. With more process in main memory, it is more likely that a process will be in the ready state at any given time. Yes, it is in a ready state. Anytime you can access it. And I think you can see few applications in my taskbar that I have opened browser, I have opened Outlook, I have opened uh, this PowerPoint and Telegram app. So let's say I'm using browser. Quickly I have jumped it. So this data is open, but wherever I swipe in this application, now the memory reference has gone. One particular frame, one particular segmentation is being loaded through a RAM, but other information has been removed. So whenever I clicked again, quickly it will load that data from the main memory, from the disk, let's say. So it is in ready condition. Anytime I will click it, I can quickly fetch it. And if you are not observing, all the tabs are open. So I'm very frequently I'm using this browser and this PowerPoint. Quickly, there is no delay. But if any process is there, let's say, uh, all processes are open. See, it takes delay. Did you see that?
Yes, yes.
There was a delay. That means that data, it was that data went out from the memory and it was stored. It was there, but only frequent reference I have maintained. The moment I clicked in the cache memory file, it took some time, then quickly loaded. So it was in ready condition. Let's click on the separate part. Okay, it was already open. That's why this page is stored in my browser. That's why it's quickly loaded. But now there is no delay. No delay because that's already loaded. Let's check in the PowerPoint. It's already loaded. Browser already loaded. Took time and then again back on my screen.
Yes.
So this is virtual memory concept. How this reference has been maintained in main memory, how it is taking that. One small information stored in RAM and it is in ready condition. Whenever you request, it fetch all the data. A process can now execute even if it is larger than the main memory size. Yes, it's an advantage. It is even possible to use more bit for the logical address than the bit needed for addressing to physical memory. Physical memory, your hard drive, and it is saying that you can transfer a lot of bit to your main memory. Logical address means logical address are generated by the CPU. So you can process a lot of bits through this process, this indexing, one by one indexing. You're doing it one by one indexing, one indexing, one indexing. So you can process a lot of bits through this process. However, the storage is limited, but still you can process a lot of larger files just by quickly bit transfer thing. Virtual memory large as you wish. 16 bits are needed to address a physical memory of 64 kilobyte. That's example. Let's say 16 bits are needed to address a physical memory of 64 kilobyte. Let's use a page size of 1 KB so that 10 bits are needed to offset within a page. Offset means what is offset? Offset means the which particular location of the frame or block or page, frame, block, lines, which particular you want to access, that offset, the exact location of that.
Mm-hmm.
For the page number part of logical address, we use a number of bits larger than 6, say 22 modest value. So this means 16 bits for 64 kilobyte data, and we are using 1 kilobyte frame size. 1 kilobyte, like 1 kilobyte is a frame size, page size. One page can have 1 KB. 64 KB data needs to be loaded. 10 bytes are needed for offset. So 10 bytes, that means 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. In this way, you can create a page length. So
Mm-hmm.
page number part of logical address, we use a number of bits larger than the 6. So memory size 64 bit. What is the formula? Process size, first 4 bytes, page size 1 byte, number of pages, you can divide it after the calculation. Memory reference by a logical address is called virtual memory. Memory reference, whatever you pass, logical address called virtual memory. Reference you have created, page number is maintained in secondary memory on disk. Yes, because it's stored in where you have installed your operating system. Pieces are bring into main memory only when needed. Yes. For better performance, the file system is often bypassed and virtual memory is stored in a special area of disk called swap space. Swap space is for swapping. Same thing. Now, swap space, if you're talking about then Linux, obviously, larger blocks are used and file lookups and indirect allocation methods are not used. By contrast, physical memory is a main memory referenced by a physical address. It's located on dynamic RAM. Yes, in RAM, it's stored that. The translation from logical address to physical address is done by indexing the appropriate page and segment table with the help of memory management hardware. Yes, we already done that. Separation, we already done that here. This segmentation.
Mm-hmm.
Possibility of trashing to accommodate as many processes as possible. Only a few pieces of each process is maintained in the main memory. Yes, we know that. Main memory may be full. When the OS brings one piece in, it must swap one piece out. So
Mm-hmm.
whatever process you are not working in application, if you are not using, it will swap out. The OS must not swap out the piece of process just before the piece is needed. So it will not swap out the whole process, but it will store one bit of that, one piece of that. If it does not too often, this lead to trashing. The processor spends most of the time it's swapping pieces rather than executing user instruction. Yes, the processor spends most of its time to swapping pieces rather than executing user instructions.
Mm-hmm.
When you click it, then it execute it, but most of the time it's swapping that in background. So many processes are running, it's just swapping one by one, taking out process, taking out the process. That's why it is processing that one by one. This is a condition of trashing. Trashing means uh, you loaded the piece of in main memory, you use it. When you used it, then you minimize it or you closed it. If you minimize it, then it will swap out all the pieces. And now for the most of the time you are not using it. So what will happen is only one minimum piece of bit will be stored. Otherwise, all data will be swapped out. So whenever you click again, so it will not process it. First, it will load it. So that loading thing is trashing. Okay, locality, temporal, spatial. Temporal, the address that are referenced at some time, TS, will be accessed in near future with high probability. Exam execution in a loop. Okay, address that are referenced at some time will be
Your
accessed
internet
in
is
near
very
future.
bad.
I think.
Items whose address are near one another tend to yesterday I gave example that roll number 10 is called. So we are also pushing that's a spatial locality. Accessing array elements. A sequential approach. Let's start. One, three, four, five, six, six. In the array, let's say A. B, C, D. E, F. So items whose E, okay. So but it's up to your bytes which you are taking with E. However, E will be executed, but E and F, this is spatial. And temporal locality is address that are reference future with high probability. So in a, let's say in a loop, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One second. Thing is, as you already uh, running this loop, so this loop instruction will be maintained. This information will be maintained. This whole information will be maintained. This loop structure. So anytime it will call, then it will be reloaded. Not the near it exact thing. Temporary. It will be there. After some time, when you load will be changed. How we can keep only the current locality in the main memory, need not keep the entire program in the main memory. Okay, what is locality? Principle of locality difference. Memory, the process tend to cluster. Hence, only a piece of process will be memory reference process tend to cluster. So memory references tend to a cluster. What is cluster? Cluster is group. So memory references within a process is P1.
Hello. I think you
Open the
have
file, then cluster will be created, and if you're not using it, then cluster will be removed. Possible of making intelligent guesses about the which pieces.
Hello.
Yes, sir, we are here.
Hello, yes.
We cannot hear you.
दोस्तों दोस्तों
Yes.
do you hear?
Oh man, hello dedim ki.
Wrong. See,
Connection is very bad.
hello.
Hello.
Hello, I'm audible.
Now we can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you.
I think the internet is fine because again I have reconnected it, but sometimes I think it create problem. Maybe it's a lag of my system, not it's the like internet. It's just my laptop also.
You were explaining class.
Okay, so
Sir, then we got disconnected.
okay. 1 second, let me again share my screen. Okay, so I was explaining this pointer, space and time. Right, I was explaining this part.
No, before that.
Okay, this locality and virtual memory.
Yeah, this one.
Okay. So actually, this is a concept that in locality, what you do is you create a preference list of your files or process that which one was used before. Maybe in future you will need again. So that's a locality. And virtual memory is to making one particular one piece of data to load on your main memory. So principle of locality reference is memory reference with process tend to cluster. Cluster is like one piece and related information, it will be cluster. Let's say if you are shopping on Amazon, so in Amazon, if you looked for a phone, let's say smartphone, I'm looking for MI phone, 4 GB RAM, 16 GB ROM is there. So if you click a MI phone, then below that you can see in suggestion there is Vivo phone, there are other companies phone also. So that's a cluster. When you look for a particular phone, then related technology is also clustered together. So this is known as clustering. The related information clustered together. If I need to create a cluster of student, so there is a student, maybe you are student of a certain university and there is a student of another university, but the chances are, but the common thing is you both are student, so cluster will be close, the proximity will be close. This is principle of locality of reference. Means in memory, whatever data you have executed, the near and dear data, the neighboring data will be clustered together.
Now, yes, got it.
Only a pieces of process will be needed over a short period of time, possible to make intelligence guess about which pieces will be needed in the future. So as you are bringing all the data, like neighboring data to your main memory, so what we are doing is we dividing the memory into process and pages, and the relative one piece of data we are loading to your main memory. That's the task. That is locality and virtual memory. And next thing is, as you see this hierarchy, CPU to secondary storage. So here storage capacity is increasing, access time is also increasing, but the cost is in a reverse direction. Means from bottom to top, from secondary to CPU, cost will be increased. And this is about the paging, and you will study what is how page demand, how page works. Same thing, main memory, executable code space, paging, logical address space. This is logical address space, this is physical address space in main memory. This is page related information stored in your, and this 01 is for operating system. This is about the paging, and that's why I said that at least study about the paging. It's already in your content. What is paging, how it works, then you can understand the virtual this virtual memory also. So this is your homework to study about the paging thing. What is paging, how it works.
Mm-hmm.
This is what paging, how paging happens. And then FIFO policy, LRU policy, like protocols are there, but that are very depth concept. We are not going to, we are not going to research depth with, like deeply from this concept. Just an overview and general thing about the concept is fine. Now it's up to you how, on which extent you are taking it. So read about paging, get into that concept, then you can understand easily how paging works. Then you can understand how virtual memory, it's implemented. So concept is it's very easy. For generally what we do is, this concept is it looks very easy, this kind of arrangement, but you need to understand about paging, how paging happens. Okay, so any doubt, any queries, please ask.
Yes, I have.
Yes, please ask.
So where the pages are located?
Pages are in your hard disk, in your uh, secondary memories.
Uh-huh. Okay.
And paging is nothing like CPU, and CPU is not aware of paging. First of all, CPU has no clue about it. It's the part of operating system who manage it. It's your management, it's your memory management thing through which you have distributed in the part, so that anytime you can make it ready. Whenever CPU asks for it, you can fetch it. That's why CPU is a different part and your operating system is different part. Both interact with each other. So if you have an Intel processor, so in your device you can install Linux, you can install Windows, and you can install any other operating system. It will not change the functioning of CPU. CPU will ask for that data if you open it. So it's your operating system who is managing. That's why this is one of the property of operating system. It helps in memory management. In Windows, you do the partition. Have you seen the partition in Linux? That local disk C, local disk E. Have you seen this thing in Linux?
Not actually, not really.
Exactly, because in Linux, we don't do that of partition. But in Windows, it's a feature. Virtually, we create a partition. However, there is no partition in actual. You cannot cut the disk. You not, break the disk and then you can make the separation. It's a virtual concept. It's a virtual thing of managing, how we are managing our memory.
So you explained it about paging. So it's like CPU asks for data from pages. What about segmentation?
No, segmentation paging is almost same. Like you are doing the partition, you are doing, you know, a, how to say, how you are actually categorizing it. You are dividing the data into some through some concept, through so that you can understand it. You can tag it, or you can process it actually. So CPU doesn't look for paging. CPU looks for a data in cache memory first of all. Then cache
Uh-huh.
memory looks for thing in a main memory. One by one, this hierarchy keep going on the in the last hierarchy of memory. So
Mm-hmm.
this segmentation and paging is a partition. It's a segment, like we are. This is dividation of information, management of things. Like you put the things in the rack. So in a one almirah or in a closet. So that's the rack. You create the rack to make the separation. Why we
Mm-hmm.
create the wall to make separation. This is kind of that. So we do it virtually. There is no concept in hardware. We virtually do it.
Uh-huh. I see. Okay.
See, thing is, if you're not arranging your memory, if you're not arranging this in this way, the problem is how will you load the data in the main memory? It will take a lot of time. If in the school, all the classes, all the students are in a one room, then how sixth standard, seventh student can understand lectures or a teacher's lesson. That's why we create the separation. Sixth standard, seventh standard, eighth standard, they have their own specific class and sections. They sit there and they take their lesson.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing, we are doing this thing in a memory also. If we not create this separation, then how we can target? Let's say I need to call uh, one person, and that person is studying in seventh standard in section A. This
Uh-huh.
is information which I am having right now. So I can directly go to the class and section, even the seat also, that person is sitting there.
Mm-hmm.
But if all are gather in one place, it will be tough to me to address it. It will take me
Yes.
time to reach there. That's why we are managing the whole thing. We are doing this thing, this memory management to our uh, to our physical device, so that easily we can process it, easily we can access it. Just for accessing we are doing it.
Uh-huh. Got it.
And it's up to the operating system how it is managing. This is the important part. It's up to your operating system how it's managing the memory. That is why a lot of people, they don't prefer Windows operating system, because its loading time is larger than other operating systems. It takes a lot of memory to load. Sometimes that's why a lot of programmers, they prefer Linux for the development, because that memory management, it's efficient. But Windows has its own advantages and disadvantages, and Linux has their own advantages and disadvantages. That is why it's up to the people preferences how they see these operating system. Clear?
Yes, clear.
Okay, so that's enough for today. I will share this slide, and I will also share few links to for the virtual memory. It will
Mm-hmm.
help you to understand that, and
Okay.
then it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Then I think it's enough for that content. It's enough for this topic also. And one more suggestion, one more tip that you need, you should look for the paging also. What is paging? Paging itself a big concept, and you need to figure out what is paging.
Okay.
Okay, so that's enough for today. See you all in the next class.
Thank you for your lecture.
You are welcome. Thank you all
Thank you for your
for joining
lecture.
this session.
Mhm.
Okay, okay. You guys, you don't ask any questions. That's the problem. I will look forward that if you all ask questions in the next sessions.
No, why? I always ask questions.
Yeah. Like for you, and sometime Saida, like he asked questions, and but remaining students they don't ask. Very, in very few occasions they have asked it, but it's like they have joined there for attendance, and and then they are doing something else. Okay, fine. See you all in the next class.
By the way,